without further ado, let's revert the flight back to the vehicle assembly hangar.
Yep. You notice that also gives you a little time, so it tells you how long the flight's been flying as well, which is pretty cool.
I noticed that, yes, that is quite cool. So let's move this back up now.
So we've got solar panels on that thing for the power, we've got batteries for storing electricity, we've got monopropellant, both storage and little monopropellant engines for controlling our flight in space, and we've got a capsule with a parachute to come down. So, what's the one thing that we need to get us all the way up into space?
More power!
Exactly. And to have more power, we need to...
put more engines on it.
Exactly. So, we need a decoupler, a whole load of more fuel tanks, and a lot more engines.
Power.
I'm sure it's something that you feel very comfortable with.
Ooh. Oh yeah, that's an oldish feature, isn't it? When you put the decoupler on the bottom stage, then it develops a shroud, and that makes it more structurally stable, doesn't it? I believe.
It does help, but it's not infallible. It is still fairly weak compared to everything else.
Should we just keep this simple and just put one rocket there?
Yeah, if you like.
Decoupler. Let's have that expanding outwards a bit with a adapter.
Ah, I understand. Unnecessary large amounts of power and fuel.
This is my favourite thing. Building power. You let me take care of the power. Thank you, 4040, for this wonderful honour. I will not let you regret this. Power. Where's the new engine? I want to try the new engine, the skipper engine, not the main sail. It won't be as powerful as the main sail, but what the hell?
If you have a skipper in the middle and main sails around the outside of it, though, because you still need all that power to get off the floor. By the way, you are building quite a long, thin, pencil-like, wobbly structure. You might want to reinforce the crap out of that once we've added some power.
Why don't we test what we have first? Just to reinforce, we haven't sorted out the staging, by the way, I do realise, guys, but we're just testing it. See what does need altering and whatnot. Here is our pencil dart, the Tux tester.
Yep. Although, because we've got no wings or anything on it, I won't be able to show you how stable the SAS is now. It should flip out a lot less.
Oh, it does just about get off the ground with this amount of weight behind it. Just about. So off it goes, slowly accelerating. Sorry, go on.
And if you notice, the roll and pitch aren't completely spazzing out right now.
I'm impressed.
Even though the SAS is on. Pretty cool, huh?
I'm very happy with this so far. Very happy.
Now let's see how stable this thing is if we tip it over at the angle.
What, you want me to tip it over now? Or now? Or how about now? Maybe now.
Whenever you like, bud.
Well, actually, I have noticed that we are actually going up, but gaining speed, and our fuel usage isn't too bad. So should we actually attempt to get in orbit on the go?
Well, we could do, but we haven't finished the tutorial on building stuff yet, have we?
No, but we might as well see how far we can go with this. In that case, we'll just go up and up and up and see how high we can go. How's that?
Okay, just up.
Yes. And we are now accelerating quite quickly. Our acceleration is increasing.
Yep, as we get lighter.
And the pea soup. There's a bit you always talk about every time because we're getting out of the pea soup atmosphere. This is your time, man. Speak.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't see that.
Has it frozen up again?
No, it's not frozen up. It's your screen. You've moved it quite far up. Happily, Skype is hiding it from me.
Well, for those at home wondering what the fuck I'm talking about, I'm not going to let 4040 have all the fun here of explaining everything. There's a bar here that just basically shows you your atmosphere. The lighter stuff here is the thicker normal air that we breathe, then you've got the normal atmosphere, then you've got this really thin part of the atmosphere, and the black bit is space. Although I think you'll be okay in the darker blue part, I'm not sure. And we are also at the top you have a height meter. Heightometer thing. Anyway, we're currently at 17,000 meters and still accelerating. We're now hitting 400 meters a second, 450, 460, 470. Oh shit, it's really accelerating now. Because we're into the next part of the atmosphere. There's less air resistance here, so the acceleration is just going to keep going up and up. And
Yep.
our engines are going to expire very soon.
Mm-hmm.
We should have done a gravity roll by now if we were going to get into orbit. And actually, I reckon this on its own can get into orbit. So we press spacebar to separate, spacebar again to activate the next stage. Shall we show people something pretty?
Go on then.
Ta-da!
Now, how did you do that?
I pressed the M button. Oh look, our Apple Apps is going to get up to 90,000. We could actually get into an orbit here. If I click on that little arrow there, we can bring up or hide our nav ball. Oh shit, it's really going. Let's hide that. We can come back to that another time. This is probably going to have to be a series of tutorials, isn't it?
Yes, because I'd like to explain how you use the nav ball, what the little points, what that yellow circle means.
Music! It's not just any old music 4040, it's that music.
It's the space music.
We're in space. At the top now, our arrow on the slider has now entered the black portion of the bar. We are in space, and we're also accelerating quite quickly.
Now, this is going to go quite a way. But because we're not burning sideways, we are just burning straight up. It will... Oh, there you go. This is going to go up and then just come straight back down again.
One thing I can show people while we're in space are solar panels. To make them work, right click, extend the panels. You can also have them set up to one of your buttons via action groups, but that's something for a bit more of an advanced tutorial, I feel.
Yes.
There we go, our solar panels are opening up, and they should automatically point at the sun.
Yeah, which they... There you go, there they go. They're moving.
We're about to run out of fuel.
There we are.
I think we have actually run out of fuel.
So that's as high as we're going to go. The thing in the map, that blue line, is like our projected path. So if you stop your fuel at exactly that point as you're looking at it, that's where it's going to go. The only thing that will change that path without your input is if your path goes through atmosphere, which will then have a drag factor, which will then it'll have to recalculate. But yeah, apparently we're poetically dancing.
We are. Whee! And also, we have stupid amounts of monopropellant. I've just been crazy with the burning, and we've only used up 3 units of it.
Yep. And you can make that spin around as fast as you like, and then snap on the SAS, and it might be able to bring it back under control.
Wow! Actually, let's just go stupid here for a second. Humour me. Every single direction under the sun.
Right, everybody's going to start to feel sick now. I feel sorry for Jebediah.
Oh, there you go. There you go. It's suitably out of control now, yeah?
Yeah, I'd say that.
Yes, look at the nav ball!
Before you go in it, can you press the C button to have a look at what Jebediah's seeing? Oh, that's mental.
Now we're going to press the T button to turn on the SAS. Now. Whoa! That is impressive. That never happened before. Oh, C button. There we go. That is very impressive, Mr. 4040.
There you go.
Shall we revert this flight back to the space plane, so to the vehicle assembly building?
Yes, as this was only a test. Now then. Just proving that we can get this up into orbit, but this is a rather unrefined, quite basic kind of design, and I'd like to build on that design.
There's not enough power for my liking.
I'd like to build on that design, add a little bit more power, a bit more fuel, and add a few different modules that do different things to highlight a few of the other things that this can do. So, how about we set up some onion staging? How does that sound?
Ooh, we can do that. I'm thinking 4 fuel cells for the outer onion layer.
Now, you can do onion staging is basically an economic way of having fuel and engines at the beginning, and as these fuel and engines run out, they decouple and fall away. And if we use the right pipelines, we can have the engines feeding off each other, so that sometimes a couple will fall off of fuel cells, and then a couple more fall off, leaving you with basically what we would call asparagus staging. But a lesser complicated version of that is onion staging, is where they all fall off at the same time, which is I think what we're going to do. I see you're using the orange tanks there. They're tanks I don't like using very much.
Because...
One, because they're, like you say, a fiddly to put on.
As I'm just now succeeding with.
Yeah, but look how out of place they are.
They're fine, especially when we switch to... Where are they? The main sails, and go...
Yep.
Boop.
They have these red tanks have a very nasty habit of overheating. To stop them overheating, we usually take the mainsails off, leaving the red tanks there, and put a similar sized tank in between the red tanks and the mainsail engines.
That works?
To stop the overheating problem, yes.
Okay, well I'll just leave the mainsail on the side here for now, we don't need to delete it.
That's right. There we go, that'll do. That'll work. That will stop the outside engines overheating as badly as they usually do.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Ah. Okay, so onion staging, that's when the outside tanks flow into the inside, yes?
That's correct, and to do so we need a pipeline.
I'm looking for it now, here we go.
There you go. Now, it's only with liquid fuel. You can't do this with monopropellant, and you can't do this with electricity because it's not necessary. But when you put the pipe down, it will flow in the direction you attach it. So if you zoom in on the pipe, you see there's arrows. That's the direction that the fuel will flow. To put this on properly, when you place them, the first point of your click, where you attach the first point of it, is where it will flow from, and then when you attach the second half of it, that is where it will flow to. So from, then to.
As I just demonstrated.
Exactly. Now, as you have the mirror on, it's quite happily done all four at the same time, thus making it easy. Onion staging is the lazy boy version of building tanks that drop away. Asparagus staging is a bit more complicated and involves a lot more faffing with the staging on the side, but nah, I don't think we need to do that. What we do need to do is add a couple of aerodynamic things onto this. One of them is going to be a nose cone for the
Aerodynamic.
4 tanks.
No. No.
Not the blue nipple.
Ah.
Ta-da!
Ding.
And on the central section, in between the tanks, we're going to want to put some wings.
You mean here?
On,
Oh,
yeah,
the central section in between the tanks, you mean the big tank,
at the bottom.
Right? So, which ones did we decide were best last time? Let's actually have a look here. We've got a total mass 0.02, drag 0.02, lift rating 0.4, 0.05, so it's heavier, lift rating 0.3, so those are better straight away. 0.02, 0.02, lift 0.7.
That one doesn't have an inbuilt aileron. That one doesn't move so well. It's the one in the middle there.
We want the middle one.
That's the best one. Now, if we mount it slightly higher up than bang on the end, it gives us a little bit of room to put the clamps that are going to hold this on the launch pad. There you go. That'll do. Now, the general aim of the game is that you'll want these fins as low down as possible, but while giving you enough room to have the docking clamps that are going to hold you on the launch pad.
Well, there's one little tip you all can use, guys. Make little grunting noises and it'll go into the right place eventually. There we go, that should be okay. That will get us into orbit easily.
So we've got wings, we've got engines. We need to sort our staging out.
Yes, that was going to be my next part now, because then we can go for a test flight again.
Yes, we can. And we may need to reinforce some of it at some point.
Yeah, we'll test it out first, though, see if it actually does need reinforcing and whatnot.
Sure.
But the Tux tester is looking quite, dare I say it, professional by our standards.
Now that's definitely, that's a lot more than we would normally need to get into orbit. But if we demonstrate the principle of onion staging, it means that things like solid rocket boosters, which are a little bit different to the fuel tanks and engines, will become an easy concept because you've learned something a bit more complicated that does the same thing.
So let's sort out the staging.
Sure.
First stage we want is these rockets firing.
And?
These separating.
Yep, and they're in the wrong place if you see.
So those can merge up there with them, because it's a lot less hassle to move them than it is to move this. So now they're in the wrong order because it's those separators need to be up there.
Yep.
So those all fire, and they release when we hit the space bar.
Yep. It's a relatively simple exercise to move things around this selection menu on the side. If you want to move an entire block, you grab hold of the orange bit with the number on it. That bit, that moves the whole block. And if you want to move an individual part, you click on the part and then drag. Sometimes the parts will be, if you put them on the rocket as a group, they will be grouped together in the selection menu. How you ungroup them is just by simply clicking on them and then dragging the relevant part as you need it around. There you go.
Ding. Okay. So, also, can I just mention, if you highlight the part in the staging menu, it'll turn green on the actual rocket. Likewise, if you hold your mouse over the part, it'll light up in the sidebar as well.
Yes.
You can tell this one is one of these 3 rockets here.
Yep.
So going up then, these 4 separators here are the next part to go boom. Then we go up to that middle part there, and that, when it separates, includes all of these as well when it separates. Then that rocket fires.
Yep.
Then moving up, that separates, bump, gone.
Yep.
That rocket there fires. Then that explodey bump, and then parachute.
Excellent. I reckon this will get us into an orbit and then back down again safely.
Without further ado, let's test it out. Should we actually attempt an orbit this time, 40?
We're going to give it a go.
Oh shit! You know you said about the reinforcing may need. Jeb actually frowned a little there. Let's see what happens anyway, shall we?
Yeah, why the hell not? Go! Whee! Oh, this can only end one way.
Down, down, deeper and down. Oh, that actually looks quite cool, like that. Maybe some wings are going to turn it into a proper airplane. I have an idea now. We'll do it later. We'll do it later.
Okay, so we need to reinforce this. Obviously, those big tanks on the side are way too heavy than those little connectors can deal with. So let's reinforce it. Obviously, turning symmetry on makes it a lot more easier. And the way these reinforcing things attach, it's very similar to the fueling system, in fact. But this time, it doesn't matter in which order you click on things. So you just click on one surface and you click on another, and it joins them together. It does have a strength, and it can be overcome. Generally, if it keeps breaking, just add more. Until it doesn't.
That's true, very true. Always add more power.
As a general motto, you can never have too many struts. They're not particularly heavy, and you don't need to worry about building them into the staging and the side. A strut will always just let go if a part it's attached to has been programmed to let go. If that kind of makes sense.
I understand what you mean. There we go, that should be a lot better now. And how heavy are they? They are 0.05.
So they're not very heavy at all. You can add quite a lot of mass with them, but if that mass is making your rocket a lot more stable, it's mass that's well worth having.
Do you remember Leviathan? How that was pretty much
that was pretty much just struts, a bit of fuel, and an engine.
Anyway, here we are on the launch pad now, and straight away those struts have made a massive difference to our stability of our
that looks
structure.
a lot more stable. That's pretty good.
Right, let's take this launch seriously.
Okay. So remember, we start a roll at about 10,000. But until then, SS is on, throttling up, and ready to go.
Count us in.
Okay, we're going in 3, 2, 1. People go.
I'm sorry, I was a bit enthusiastic there, wasn't I?
We go really fast. You can probably do with throttling down. We don't need to go that fast.
No, we don't. Not yet. Oh shit, wrong button. There we go. While we're up here, would you like to explain what's going to happen with the onion staging and all the fuel draining into the centre unit?
Yes. So, as you say, all the fuel is being used by the rockets, but the middle rocket isn't actually using any of the fuel in the middle, because it's also feeding off the fuel in the outside rocket fuels. Yeah. Whereas the middle one, it's not doing anything at the moment. When that runs out, when we press spacebar, all 4 of those will drop off, thus vastly lightening the craft, and then the middle engine will start using the fuel from the middle. It's called cross-flow feeding. Pretty much everything other than fuel does it automatically, so you don't need to worry about batteries having to do this.
Going to start our gravity roll now, sir?
Yes, if you'd like to roll us over to the 90 degrees. As you can see, our nav ball is our direction of travel, and that yellow marker that's moving towards the middle as we move is our actual direction of travel, which is called the prograde.
Separation imminent.
Yep.
We're okay, we're okay.
There we go. Fantastic.
So you're saying about the nav ball?
Yes.
This is a good point. Ooh, let's throttle down there.
That's tough. Yep. Let's hit it. Well, the quick way to throttle down is by hitting the button X, which just cuts the old power. Now, we need to program in a maneuver before we get there, so there we are. As he's doing that, how you program a move is you click on your arc. I believe it's a right click.
Right click on the actual arc? You mean here?
To add a maneuver,
oh,
yeah.
You just left click, sorry.
Yeah.
Right.
So left click, and then you click the button saying add maneuver, and you end up with this kind of funny little star-shaped symbol.
Let's get into orbit before we explain that properly though, sir. Let's now explain how to actually use it now as set a maneuver.
Now a maneuver has been set, and you can see that a blue marker has been added to the nav ball, and we need to point our nose at that blue marker. Now we've got quite a long cumbersome craft. Generally the longer the craft, the more wobbly, as you can see it is, and also the harder to manoeuvre in space it is. And there you go.
Turn the SS on, it's now going to do it for us while I extend the panels on the command pod. Toggle hang on. Where is it? That's nope. We don't want to disable the RCS. That's a new option. I haven't seen the option to disable RCS before. Extend panels. There's one I did see. Where was it? I forgot what it was. I saw now.
Was it something to do with the batteries?
No.
Huh.
No.
Anyway, we have our node.
There we are. The inline advanced stabilizer. It says toggle torque.
Yes, you can turn it off, which is good for things like space stations. If you have lots of different modules attached in weird ways, you can turn some of them off so they don't conflict with each other. Now, because we've programmed in a maneuver, we actually have a little bar on the side which tells us how fast we need to be going for the maneuver to work, how long it estimates our maneuver to actually take, and when our node is coming up. Now, at the moment it says plus 22 seconds, which is we've gone past it. When it says minus, it means we're about to come up to it. Generally, what you'd like to do is it'll tell you what your estimate. So if the estimate is 20 seconds burn, you really want to start burning 10 seconds beforehand, so that the actual node, you pass the node bang in the middle of your burn.
Yep. This is true. Very true.
Yep.
As proven by many Russian scientists across the world. And some Scandinavian ones too. Americans steal all ideas, claim his own, then
Now
they stamp made in Taiwan on all of them. I have.
You've left the RCS on. There we go. That would be constantly burning the RCS when it doesn't need to.
Well, it's not like we're struggling for monopropellant at the moment. Magic's happening.
Magic is happening. We're getting there.
Slowly but surely.
We are wandering off the target a little bit. Oh, there we go.
Well, actually, I was going to say it's more like the target wandering away from us, but let's just let that periapsis come up a bit. What is the periapsis and apoapsis, sir?
Well, if you press X now.
Boop. Let's get rid of this maneuver. Left click, click on the X.
There you go, that cleans things up a bit more. The apoapsis, which we can see on the farther side of the planet, that is the highest part of your orbit. And the periapsis is the lowest part of your orbit.
Lower than your mum's nipples. Whoop, whoop.
Now, for a completely perfect orbit, you need to have both of these at as close to an equal distance as you need. But for this exercise, it doesn't really matter. We are in an orbit. We could go away from this game and leave it running for 10 years, and this rocket would stay in exactly the same place.
Dude.
We are in orbit.
Slight change of subject. I've just realised what it sort of reminds me of. What other ships do you know of with a great big bulky back end with some sticky outy bits, a long pointy pencil bit with a stubby nose, and frills? We've made a vagabond. We're 40 myself are big fans of a game called EVE Online, and this looks just like a fast attack ship from it called the Vagabond. Vagabond's one of my favourite ships ever. Do you agree?
Oh, I've got to love the Rust.
Trust in Rust.
Okay, cool.
Let's go back to the manoeuvres now. We're actually in a safe orbit and we're not going to die anytime soon.
Yeah. Generally, you want an orbit that's a lot higher than the atmosphere of the planet you're orbiting, which we've got, happily, which means that our orbit's not going to degrade. It will stay there forever now, basically, until we decide to do something about it.
Because we're not going through atmosphere and it's not going to slow us down at all, right?
That's right. That will stay forever.
So let's talk about manoeuvres properly, now we've actually achieved our orbit.
Okay.
Oh my god, we actually achieved an orbit on the first attempt, 40.
After several test flights.
Yeah, they're all test flights.
Now, before we start working out particularly complicated manoeuvres, I'd like to have a little chat to you about this big round thing in the bottom of the screen called the nav ball. Yes, I know, it's a boring subject, but if you learn about the nav ball, you understand about, once you've put something in, you understand how to do manoeuvres. Now, on the nav ball at the moment, you've got a round yellow light marker slightly off to the side. Yep, that is your prograde marker. That's telling you the direction that your craft is heading in. So, without having to look at your actual ship itself, without having to look in this particular view, if you point your nav ball at the prograde marker, you know that your ship is pointing in the direction of travel. But on the other side of the nav ball, as it spins round slowly, there's another marker called the retrograde marker. This is the marker that is the opposite direction of travel, which means that if your engines are mounted at the back of your craft, if you burn while pointing in that direction, you'll slow down instead of speed up. So those are the two basic things. Prograde is if you burn in a prograde direction, you will generally speed up, and retrograde is your brakes.
And retrograde burn is what we all need to do in order to get ourselves to bring our apoapsis back in, or periapsis actually, and then land.
Now, how space maneuvers work in space are quite a lot different to what you would normally imagine, because one would imagine if you point your rocket at an object and just burn towards it, you will go towards the object. But
I did that so many times when I first started Kerbal. Oh, there's the moon there. I'll just go straight for the moon. Why did I miss the moon?
That's not exactly true, because everything in space happens in spirals, in arcs, because gravity is a very potent force. The way you get somewhere, if we go into the map, the way you get somewhere is, for example, if I wanted to make my periapsis, which is relatively low compared to my apoapsis, if I want to make my periapsis go higher, I would have to wait to go all the way around to my apoapsis, point my craft prograde, there we go, and it would bring the other side out. But you, at that particular point, would relatively stay where you are. So there we go. This particular thing that Mod's playing with at the moment is like a simulated computer program that predicts and tells you what you need to know. So you're programming in a node, is what it's called. And you can add multiple nodes all over the place. But, yeah, so you can add another one there and another one there, and you generally end up with lots of different nodes all over the place, which is a bit mad. There we go. You see he's making a kind of a pretty spiral there. Each time he adds a node, you notice it's not the point where you start burning that you actually move. It's the point opposite to where you're burning. Here's the bit where you move.
I'll get bored of this in a minute, don't worry.
Now that's burning prograde. When you burn prograde, it generally means that your the big circle that your craft is trying to move in will get bigger. Retrograde, on the other hand, is burning in the opposite direction, which will actually slow you down.
There we go. If we do that and have all these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 separate burns, we'll eventually... Oh god, that's on the piss. I did it wrong.
Oh, that's completely mad. By the way, kids and gentlemen and ladies, that's not the way you should ever go to the moon.
No. It'd be fun to try, but no. Oh, whoa, no, I want to delete them all. What are you doing? Oh god, don't I have to delete them all one by one? Oh, I do. What happens to just deleting one and then have... Oh, I fucking game.
In case you make a misclick, it doesn't delete the whole maneuver.
That's sensible, and... God damn it!
What, do you think I was going to tell you?
It would have been nice! Thanks, 40. Useless, good-for-nothing git.
Love you too.
Liar. There we go, there's our original.
Yep.
So what's the plan now then? Are we going to go home?
Well, as our periapsis is the closest point to the planet, it makes sense to lower that bit rather than pull our apoapsis all the way down. So when we get to the apoapsis, if we drag on the retrograde, and boop, there you go, that's it. So we've programmed in our maneuver. We've now need to point towards wherever our target marker is, which is a blue marker. But just like the prograde and retrograde markers, there's a blue marker version of it. There's a target marker of positive and negative retrograde and prograde target. We all want the prograde target, which is like an X shape.
Telephone.
Fellitone.
So that one?
Yes.
Which is actually very hard to see at the moment. We've got enough time. We've got 15 minutes according to this. So let's just spin the ship around and actually show everybody what the other one looks like.
Yes.
presuming there is another one, because I only ever thought there was one target in the blue one. In pink, there's two, but I never realised there was more than one blue one.
There should be.
Best not be. Doesn't make sense for it to give you two targets as far as nodes are concerned. We've gone all the way around. There's no other target.
I stand corrected.
Yeah, it's two pink, but we learn something new every day, 40.
Yep.
They say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. It seems in your case, you're the exception to the rule.
Hey, what, you calling me old or something?
Yeah, how old are you again? Not as old as Egg.
True.
Very true. Let's hold it there, ship, and let's fast forward time a bit.
Yep.
I'm pressing the buttons, comma and period on the keyboard. Don't worry, I'll adjust that when we get nearer.
Yes, pretty much like everything in this game has been macro to the keyboard, as well as being a clickable option with your mouse.
Telephone! Right. We shall stick to the map view for now. And we'll watch this periapsis come in from here to here.
Yep.
And we start burning in 10 seconds.
Apparently it's a 3-second burn, so...
I don't believe that for shit. But it's too late now, we'll just start burning. Should we start burning now anyway?
If you want to test it, if you're not quite sure, if you just blip the rocket motors themselves, because sometimes it says NA. There we go. We're done?
Yes. Achievement get.
Now that's...
Crash landing.
I reckon it's going to come down off the coast of that peninsula, because where it lands, that's it figuring it out without the drag of atmosphere. Once you start hitting atmosphere, that will get steeper. Have you noticed that the planet itself looks quite a lot more interesting as it's been reskinned?
It does a bit, actually. You can actually see tundras and deserts. And
yep.
We have to go to the pole at some point, I think.
Yep, they've got some really nice mountains up at the pole now.
As we enter atmosphere, by the way, our entry has changed somewhat.
Yep, you can see that slowly moving.
We're going to land quite close to this dog poo.
We're going to be quite a way away from it, actually. We're going to be in the middle of that ocean.
Let's fire up the... Let's just have... Should we burn prograde and speed up a bit? I know actually we're going fast enough, aren't we? Because I'm thinking... You thinking what I'm thinking?
Go for it, dude.
Re-entry effects!
If you want re-entry effects, keep the whole thing so it will light up.
And... There.
Yep.
Let's go faster. Wanna go fast?
So now we're coming down like a giant lawn dart.
Yes. Oh, heat's happening. Now watch those solar panels, guys. And maybe the wings as well, I don't know actually. There goes one.
Yes, solar panels don't survive well in atmosphere. So, pro tip, don't bother having solar panels on your ship open when you're travelling through an atmosphere. They just don't work.
Close them. You should have enough electricity to last you for the descent, and then reopen them when you get back. Holy shit.
Even though we've got the engine on, we are still slowing down because of the amount of friction.
Oh, out of fuel. Next stage.
You really want to go fast, don't you?
Well, you know. Let's try aiming for land, even though we know that won't actually happen. We've still got another stage to get through, yeah?
Well, we know this stage had enough to actually lift off. So
this is
technically
true.
we could scoot across and try and get onto land.
That's what I'm aiming for, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Well, you can see our prograde marker is very slowly crawling across. If that prograde marker actually moves above the horizon line towards the blue, we should theoretically start going up. Because that's the direction of travel, not necessarily where we're pointing.
This is true. I think it's going to happen, actually. Oh, that prograde marker's really coming up now.
Yeah, we just got a lot lighter. Although that's not going to last long enough to get us to where we want to go.
It's getting up, but it's not going to last. That's right, Jebediah. You laugh and smile.
So we are now going upwards.
Yes, altimeter. I think that's the one. Yes, altimeter.
Yep.
I was trying to think of the right name earlier. It's now increasing.
Yes, that altimeter though only really works, only reads true for the planet Kerbin.
Bye-bye.
That might hit land. Or maybe not.
Let's watch it for a bit. There's our Tux tester capsule back there.
I wouldn't get too far away from that.
Alright.
Once it goes,
I just wanted to see something.
once you go beyond 2 kilometers in the atmosphere, you lose the ability to be able to flip back to a craft.
We don't really want to watch this pod descending slowly now, do we? We want to see it crash.
Sploosh.
Sploosh. And... There we go, it's auto switched back just as the parachute opens. Fantastic.
If you turn the SS off, the pod won't be on the skew.
I wonder why the parachute was wobbling like that. So yeah, there we go. This is a successful creation of a rocket. Testing, getting into orbit, and then returning home again.
Yep.
I think we can call that a successful episode there, Faulty. I've learned so much about Kerbal today. Thank you very much. Anyway, seriously though, we should end it there. Jebediah's alive, amazingly. He's only respawned like 5 or 6 times, but he's still alive.
Yay, he's still alive.
Have you got any final thoughts you'd like to add, Faulty?
If you guys out there were watching this and would like some tutorials that actually focus in on a specific subject, leave us a comment and we'll see if we can get round to doing a more doing a selection of tutorials, perhaps. What do you think?
That sounds good. Also, can I just give you a quick plug, 4040? 4040 is on Team Tuxedo, and he's also going to be starting uploading videos at some point in the next couple of weeks, shall we say?
Yep, I'm aiming to get a few videos up. Some of them are going to be Kerbal Space Program orientated. Might even get some Minecraft on the go. Perhaps even a few surprises.
We like surprises, yes we do. So, yeah, 4040, you can find him in the comments, usually lurking. He's usually saying something like PvP biatches. But yeah, feel free to go to 4040's channel, click subscribe, and I'll probably be nice enough and actually put a link on this video, actually. 4040 does the analytical, proper side of things. He doesn't believe in power.
But I do believe in explosions.
Oh yes, so you might actually have a laugh. Anyway, I've been Mod.
I've been 4040.
Thank you very much for watching, guys. If you like this, there's a thumbs up just to the left here. Next to that, if you're not already subscribed to myself, please hit the subscribe button. And as always, please share this with your friends and tell them just how awesome we work as a team. Right, 40?
Or how terrible.
Yeah, this is true. Anyway, see you next time, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.